So the project that we are going to do today is I am going to make a screen for my projector. I bought a really cool little rechargeable projector rather than having a TV installed somewhere in Honey, because there's not a lot of space for a TV, although I know a lot of people with toy homes do have TVs in them. The last time I used it was with my grandkids, and what we did is we just pulled out the bathroom sliding door, which has the gray wallpaper on it, and watched it right on there, which it worked pretty good. I do have a plan to make a screen that I can hang up in the doorway here that is white rather than fake wood looking. I have the things I need to make it, so I'm going to get this done. It's going to be a quick project. This is the first thing that I need to make the screen, and it is a curtain rod that extends, and it has little supports that are going to go on either side of the door. So what I need to do is measure how far across that's going to be, because this will be the top of the screen, and on the bottom of the screen I'm going to use the same threaded metal rods that I used in the blinds to weigh it down so it hangs straight. So I need to measure to make sure that this is going to work. I got one that extends so I can make it as wide as I need to or as narrow as I need to. And actually, when I'm looking at it, this looks like it may just be the right size without having to extend it. So let's open it up. It fits quite nicely just right across the door. I could extend it a little bit more, but the counter above the fridge is here, and then I've got a picture on the other side. You see, the screen can only fit so far. I'll need my measuring tape for this. So I'm going to measure how much space I actually have in front of the door between the fridge and where I've got this picture hanging. So I've got 27.5 inches that I can make my screen that wide. I would like to be able to have it up here, so I would extend this rod so that the middle part between the two decorative ends would be 27 inches. So that would be the width of my screen. You're back in the basement, ready to do this project, and I'm going to show you, this is the little projector that I bought to use in the RV. You'll see it has a little mount that you can put it on a tripod, and it's rechargeable. You can plug it into your iPhone, some tablets. My tablet is a Samsung whatever, and it won't work with that. So I use my iPhone, but I had to get a special adapter to go from the iPhone plug-in thing to an HDMI, and that thing alone cost as much as the projector did, which is crazy, but it works really well, and you can watch probably about 2 movies on a charge. So yeah, it's Miroir. I'm not sure. I'll show you there. And I got it from Amazon. Plug-in for it has to be the one that Apple makes. I tried using the aftermarket knockoff ones, but it didn't work, and I contacted the company and they said it did have to be the actual Apple product for the connector for from the iPhone to this HDMI. So yeah, and that was about $80 Canadian on the Canadian Amazon. I'll show you how it works. It's got a little switch on the side, and you just flick it on. See the light there? I mean, it doesn't look great on a rock fireplace, and it has a focusing dial you can focus it with. You can go back further and closer. For my purposes, it's exactly what I needed, and I wanted something that was rechargeable and use in the RV without having to have the generator running or whatever for the TV. I need to measure how long the screen needs to be. It's going to be 27 inches across, because that's the space that I have. When I've got it 27 inches across on the screen, how long is the picture? So that's what I'm going to be doing now. So I'm going to hook this up to a tripod and get that figured out. I've got the projector shining on the wall, and I've had to close the curtain and turn off the lights so that you can see this. But I need to now adjust how close the projector is to the wall so that I could get it to measure 27 inches or 27.5 inches from side to side. So right now it is at 30 inches. So I need to come closer with the projector. So I'll do that. Okay, now it is 27.5 inches exactly right now. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to measure how high the picture is. And it's just shy of 16 inches, so 15 3/4. So I will do it at 15.5 inches deep. Now to make a projector screen, you want something that's white. You could use a piece of white fabric or a sheet, whatever. If we ever decide to sit outside and watch a movie on the side of the RV, I'll probably use a sheet. I do happen to have some white room darkening curtain backing, but I'm going to use this to make my projector screen. So it's going to be 15.5 by 27.5 or 27 by 15, somewhere in there. I will be allowing for a fold over at the top and the bottom, and I don't need to worry about hems on the side because this fabric doesn't fray. If you're making one from a fabric that frays, you also need to add on to each side a little bit so you can fold it over and hem it so it doesn't fray. These things come apart, so I don't have to sew it on this. I just sew a loop at the top, a hem, and I'll poke these things through, and then I can just roll them up on the curtain rod and store it away. I've got my fabric all lined up on my cardboard work area, and I am going to do it the 15.5 inches this way and the 27 this way. So because it's 27 and I don't need to do seam allowances on the sides, it's going to be just 27.5 inches. Whereas the height of the screen needs to have the fabric folded over on the top and the bottom to allow for the curtain rod and the metal rod to go in top and bottom. So I'm going to add a couple of inches on each end, so that will make it 19.5 inches that it will be high. So I'm going to mark that over here, as well as at the 27.5 inch mark here. So I'm basically drawing my pattern on the fabric, and for some reason, Zoe, what are you doing? Wait. Yeah. Somehow she knew her stuffy was underneath that pile of fabric. She can't hear, she doesn't see very well, but her nose works very well. Okay, so now I'm going to cut it out. So here is our screen, and I'm going to fold over in an inch on the top and the bottom and seam that. So I've got my pins, and I will measure 1 inch all the way along the top and fold it over. Okay, so I've got 1 inch measured over at the top, and I'll do the bottom. So top and bottom are ready to go. So that's going to be the size of the screen. And I'm just going to double check my measurements to make sure that it is the 15 and 27, which it is, which is good. It means we did it right. Now I'm going to seam it with my sewing machine using white thread so it doesn't show, and then put the poles in. It's very quick. There is the blind all sewn up. You can see the seam in there. So I'm going to thread the curtain rod through one end. And the other end through the other end over top of it. If you use a bigger curtain rod, you need to leave more of a fold over because it'll have a bigger circumference to go around. So there's my screen with the curtain rod on. And now I have to go and cut another piece of that threaded steel rod that I used in the bottom of the blinds to go on in the bottom part here. That'll weigh it down and keep it nice and taut while we're watching movies. So there is the rod all cut to, I think it's about 26.5 inches, long enough to hold it straight but not right to the ends. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal the ends or wrap the ends with a little bit of duct tape just to keep them from poking anybody in the future. So just a little piece like that, and I'm wrapping it around the end with a little bit of overhang so that I can push it in and cover the sharp edges. So, will that focus? There, kind of like that. Okay, and the other one, like so. And then I will take this and thread it through the bottom. And there's the screen. I'm going to iron it. I'm also going to stitch this closed and this closed, just up and down, just to seal the rod in there. And that way I don't have to worry about it slipping out. Let's go try it out. So I'm going to measure, because I don't think honey's level here, so I'm going to measure from the floor up to this hook, and that will make it level on the other side. Okay, so remember I put the hookies in there. Now we're going to put the screen up. So there is the screen. And I can close the door and we can watch the movies up there. So I'm going to shut the blinds and we'll try it out. I realized I can't show you a movie on the screen because my phone is what I'm recording this on, and my phone is what the movie comes off of. So instead, I'm just going to show you on the screen that what's showing right now is what's on my screen here, only for some reason it's coming out sideways on the projector rather than horizontal, but I'll show you. So you can see there, that is what you're seeing twice, only the second time you're seeing it on the projector screen it's sideways. Anyway, you can see that that's where the projector is, and I've got the projector set up on my tripod here, and it works quite well for being able to either sit on the sofa or the buffet on the one side or up on the bed even to watch a show. So I'm really happy with this, and I am looking forward to downloading some Netflix and watching it on my screen in here.